This is the Live Well and Thrive podcast, hosted by Michael Torchia, health and wellness expert. It's time to shape up, America.
Hi, it's Mike Torchia, and welcome to Live Well and Thrive. I got a great friend. He's a wonderful human being, champion bodybuilder. I mean, he's won numerous titles such as Mr. Los Angeles and many others, the host of the Body Shaping Show. But he's been an inspiration to me and many other champion bodybuilders. Rick Valente, welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. My brother Italian that I've known for 43 years. We experienced so many amazing things together. Yeah. Back in Gold's Gym in the 80s and 90s, magic.
Yeah.
It really was, Mike.
It's a long way. I remember I got here first.
Yeah.
And because I remember, I think we met a long time ago in a contest in Connecticut.
We might have, yeah.
You know,
but
briefly. But we really connected out here.
Yes, probably I think around 1982. Because that's when I was here.
Yeah.
And you were already here a few years before me.
Yeah, and we just connected. We don't stood.
I know. Two Italian guys.
Italian, right?
I get it.
And, of course, we love beautiful women.
Yes, we do. But back then, women wanted to be with you as much as you wanted to be with them. Their energy was beautiful. When we went to the gym, girls would jump in and train with us, hug us, kiss us, say, hey, it's great to meet you guys. I mean, Gold's Gym back in the 80s and 90s was magic, and I don't know if any other gym in the world will ever be like that was. We had the best bodybuilders there, actors, rock stars, boxers, football, basketball. I mean, I can go on and on and on. We'd walk in and go, whoa, and then all of a sudden they'd want to jump in with us. And they did. And we had fun. Nowadays, if somebody's sitting on a machine you want to use, you go up and go, hey, can I jump in? They go, oh, I just started. I go, okay, can I jump in with you? They go, no. And I say, excuse me, you don't own this piece of equipment. So let me jump in. They go, well, come back in a few minutes. I'll walk away. I'll come back in 10 minutes. They're sitting there looking at their phone for 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
And I have to understand and accept it, but it makes no sense to me because this new generation is obsessed. And I understand it's the way the world works with Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it all is. I understand. It's just challenging for us older guys to accept it, but we have to. I keep trying to post stuff to tell this new generation, if somebody comes up and says, listen, can I jump in with you? Yeah. Then you compete against each other and have a great workout. That's what's fun. To tell them no and then sit there for 10 minutes in between your sets, it's just not respectful.
You know, I feel, not all millennials, but there's a heavy concentration of these social influencers that are so obsessed with taking pictures and posting and who's doing what, that they forget about why they're here in the gym and how everybody else is doing the same thing. And it's like a brotherhood, a sisterhood, you know? It's not that camaraderie.
No.
Like, I remember we would work out. And you go, hey, Mike, you want to hit Rose Cafe? You want to hit Firehouse?
I know.
Let's get a bite to eat. Because we enjoyed each other's company.
Laid out on the beach together. I mean, we had fun.
Now you leave the gym and you go down the block to Rose Cafe, and the same people you're talking to are sitting at another table by themselves. They'd rather sit at the table, play with their phone, and eat than have
and they won't even talk to you.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a whole different dynamic.
I know, bro.
And I used to get so excited like you to get to the gym, to feel the energy in the gym, and I knew that we would see either someone who's incredibly famous or some most stunning women in the world or just really interesting people to talk to, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But I found that, like when I shared with Robbie Robbins, who was just on the previous interview, he said, yeah, Mike, I'd go in the gym and there's Denny Gable and there's Franco and Ken Waller and all these other great guys. And I said, isn't it great? We used to walk in and they were just working with us.
I know.
Now today they think of us as the old dinosaurs.
And there's no superstars in there anymore.
No.
Excuse me. I don't understand it. It's crazy.
I mean, I told many of the, even Arnold, I've told many times over the years, you were such an inspiration to me.
Oh, thank you, bro.
And, you know, you and many others all inspired me. I'd see you and I'd watch you on ESPN's Body Shaping Show.
I was so lucky.
And I was like, wow. You'd always be at some tropical location with the most magnificent views, most gorgeous women, doing exercises.
Yes.
But you always had your unique style of delivery.
Yes.
On how to explain it, how to make sure you're focusing on the group that your muscle group you're working on.
Yes.
I really think that show, my heart should be rebooted to the baby boomers.
I agree.
Because these are the people that
agree.
have been confused,
Yes.
watch YouTube and these other programs that have misinformation.
Well, body shaping, what was great about it is we would get so many letters because back then it wasn't just emails or cell phone texts. It was letters, and they were all different people with different challenges. Some were overweight, some were underweight, some were injured. So I had to learn so many things about the body. It wasn't just bodybuilding. So I kept trying to learn more and more and more and help these people. We were getting 3 million viewers a day. And then they would send letters back, oh, it worked, what you told me to do. And that is what felt incredible because we're old school guys. We love to help people, you know, and there's so many different ways to work out. There's so many different ways to eat. Everybody responds differently. So you kind of have to tell people things to try that they'll learn what works for them. And that's what works. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's what was great about body shaping, man. I came to Gold's Gym in '82. I had nothing, a knapsack and $400. I knew nobody. And walked in, Lyle Alzado, all the bodybuilders in the world, Lee Haney, you name it. It was amazing to me.
Yeah, and Dennis Hopper.
Oh, Gregory Hines.
I mean,
I can go on and on and on.
but just also the unique characters that were in
Yes.
there. They may
yes.
not have been famous, but they were really quite intriguing, interesting
Yes.
people. Of every walk of life was in there, and it was like Switzerland.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who you were, or what you are, in the life. When you go in the gym, we were all equal,
Yes.
and that was what I
Yes.
loved about goals. But I couldn't wait to get in the gym and do legs or
I
do
know.
chest or
Oh,
back.
Tom
whatever.
Platts, I would try to do everything he did, and I learned my legs will never look like his, but I tried. He would do so many reps and negatives, and sometimes I would spot him when he would say, help me, and he would do so many reps, leg extensions, and then make me do negatives, push it down.
Right.
By the time I was done, my arms were killing me. He was amazing. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
amazing. The best legs I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
he was a technician. When it came to legs, oh my God.
Yes,
And he had a magnificent physique. If he didn't tear his bicep,
that's right.
he would have been Mr. Olympia.
I agree.
You know, and it's a shame he didn't get it fixed. 'Cause
I
ever
know.
since then,
I know.
you know, it was downhill.
See, the challenge we all have is so many people we know, bodybuilders, who train so heavy, and most of them had surgeries. I understand. I tore my pec trying to bench 500. Just crazy. And I'm trying to help this new generation understand you don't have to train heavy all the time. I understand it's a great ego thing when you bench 400, 500, whatever. Just try to do that for a couple of weeks, and then for a couple of weeks, try to do high reps. It's a different pump and burn. You may like it. And there's different ways to work out. We have to try to share it with. We've been training our whole life since we
Yeah.
were 12. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
But you know what? I said this to you a while ago. When you tore your pec, it was a blessing.
yes, it was. You're right.
Otherwise, you would have been obsessed to try to be
Yes.
Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
Got dabbled in the wrong
right.
things, and your
No.
health would have been not as good as it is now. And who knows where you've been? But it brought you body shaping.
Right. And that's what I learned about life. When one door closes, another one opens. It ended my bodybuilding passion, my career for it. I couldn't compete anymore because it had a 3rd-degree tear. They sewed it together. And when I got done with the surgery, I'm sitting in the hospital there. And this young kid who was working with Lyle Alzado took me to the Raiders doctor because he took me to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
When I tore my pec, he was in the gym with me, and they wouldn't touch me because I didn't have insurance. So he took me to the Raiders surgery guy. He was an amazing guy. He did the surgery, and he had a young kid who was working with him. He came in and said to me, we've done dozens and dozens of pec tears. Yours was the worst we've ever seen.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, why the fuck would you tell me that? So I felt even bad. I felt worse. But then he came in, and the older guy said, listen, you're going to be fine. And I learned a lot about that because we all get depressed when we have injuries. I understand. But you have to try to focus on the solution to it than wallowing into the problem. And that's what I had to do. So I learned a lot about being happy and successful. You're alive. And move on to the next chapter. And I booked the body shaping show about a year and a half later. I couldn't believe it.
It's incredible.
Gold's Gym back then had casting calls because Derek Barton had a system there, casting calls for commercials, covers, magazines, you name it.
Oh, you were doing everything.
Oh, I was so, bro. I can't.
Haagen-Dazs commercials, this
Oh,
car commercial.
I developed a
was
friendship.
watching on TV all the time.
I developed a friendship with Joe Pitka, the most successful commercial director in the world. I think he's done like 6,000 commercials. It's crazy. I did dozens of commercials with him, all with so many famous people. I couldn't believe I'm in with them. And listen, I wound up doing 42 commercials. And that's what blows my mind. I have a 3-page resume that I look at now and I go, wow, I can't believe I did that. Doesn't mean a thing. Whenever I talk to publishing companies, they say, how many followers you have?
Yeah, no,
So I
it's
understand.
How many covers have you been on?
I probably did 75 to 100. I was very lucky. I was very, very lucky.
But you're right. It certainly changed because
Oh, now it's different.
when we would just go anywhere, people would run up to you
I know.
and thank you for body
I
shaming.
know.
That
I
you
know.
changed your life. Oh, I was
Yep.
100 pounds overweight.
Yep.
Thanks, Ricky.
I
Blah,
know.
blah, blah. You helped
I
my
know.
son. And that's all I would hear, praise.
I know.
And I know you would glow when you would
Oh,
hear this.
I was so grateful for that because it made me feel like, wow, like what I'm trying to do is working and I'm helping so many people. That's where you get a really good feeling about helping other people.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful blessing. It's like, it's not just about you, me, 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 me. No, 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 no. We want to help other people. That's what Italians like to do. My mother and father were amazing. They showed love and respect every day. My mother cooked and all my friends wanted to come to our house because my mother would feed them.
I remember that one time you gave me your mother's meat sauce, and it was in that plastic kind of Ziploc bag.
Yep.
I got to tell you something.
She would send
I
it to
heated
me.
that up, boy.
I know.
So she would FedEx it because it was frozen when you gave it.
Yes.
Yeah. I got to tell you
Oh.
something. That sauce was so
Oh,
robust. I could smell the garlic and the
yes.
basil.
Yes.
All the beautiful
That was her
herbs.
passion. She loved to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
It
But you know
really
what?
was.
You're at a good place now, Rick, because now you've found peace.
I did.
And you're
no-
writing the book. You have your book coming out
Yeah,
soon,
my
right?
book's gonna be out, man. It's gonna be amazing because I try to get all my friends, even you I talked to about. I tried to get James Caan, Ray Liotta to do a book. Because see, we all have to understand and accept the fact we all leave this earth. It's part of the deal when you're born. Excuse me. It's part of the deal when you're born that someday you're going to leave this earth. So if you don't write a book about your life's journey, it never happened because when you're gone, your name may never come up. And if it does, you have the opinion of others. So write a book about where you were born, your parents, what you learned in grammar school, what you experienced. And that's what my book is all about. I grew up around gangsters, bikers, and drug dealers. I was born in New Haven. I lived 15 minutes out in Ansonia, Connecticut. And we grew up around a lot of gangsters. And that was normal in our neighborhood. So in grammar school, they were giving us mushrooms. It was a trip. We were laughing our ass off with mushrooms. And then smoking pot came. And then before you got into high school, you were doing cocaine. We did all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that was normal in our neighborhood. So I'm trying to explain to people too, everybody tries something, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Just try to control what you're doing because you can't do it all the time. You're only going to punish your health. I learned that because my brother unfortunately became a heroin addict. It broke my heart. Yeah. So I know a lot of people in my neighborhood who OD'd on drugs. And that's why I moved out, because bodybuilding saved my life. Because I couldn't be up all night doing drugs and train the next day. And all these people I was working out with and hanging out with, some of them went to jail for murder. Some of them got murdered. Some of them OD'd on drugs. And then some of them would commit suicide. I had two friends. One hung himself and one put a shotgun in his mouth, blew his head off.
Wow.
I said one day, I gotta get the fuck out of here. There's gotta be more to life than this. That's when I moved to Florida for 3 years. It was magic. And after Florida, I got into a few shows there. and I had to come to California. And that's when I try to tell this new generation, passion makes you fearless and unstoppable.
Yeah, you know that passion is, I would say, the secret sauce in anything, whether it's
Yes.
bodybuilding or being an artist or singer or an
Yes.
actor, whatever it is, right?
Yes.
And Robbie Robinson, who was just on,
Yeah.
said that was a key element for him was the
Yes.
passion he had,
Yep.
almost to the point of obsession,
I understand.
right? And that's what makes you excel,
Yes.
because you'll go the extra length, that extra mile that it takes. You know, but I also remember you're really great with kids.
I love working with kids. I always did.
You just were
Yeah,
natural,
yep.
you know?
I had kids on the show on Body Shaping. We brought kids in. And I would love to get them to work out, and then we'd laugh and have fun. And then after each show, little kids were in, I bought them gifts. Little chains, little wrist things. It was amazing. That's what turns me on. I love that stuff.
So, with the book,
Yeah.
now, when do you feel it's going to be coming out?
I think it's going to be out in January. I've been working on it for a few years. It's just the last couple of years I had to add so many things because I lost so many great friends.
Yeah.
And see, in my book story, I talk about, and I try to tell this new generation, the real friendships you develop in your life's journey is so important. And today it's all about online stuff. They don't even talk to people. Develop real friends. I met so many incredible people. James Caan had me come to his house for Thanksgiving all the time. Took me to Vegas with him on a private jet. We had so much fun. Took me to the Playboy Mansion. He was the only guy who ever lived there for 2 years. He was getting a divorce, and he was best friends with, the man who owned.
Hefner, yeah.
Yes. And so he let him sleep there and live there. He told me things I'm not going to tell you, but it was magic. But he would take me there, and we'd watch movies with people, and it was an amazing place. And James Caan, I tried to get him to write a book because his life was amazing, bro. Great actor, but he knew a lot of Italian guys too that he liked. He had stories that blew my mind.
Yeah,
Ray
remember-
Liotta. I tried to get Ray Liotta to do a book. And I loved, he did that Italian movie. You know Ray Liotta?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good fella.
Yeah, good for
And so one day I showed him the first chapter of my book. He said it made him cry. Because I don't want to get into it. I don't want to cry. But then we would talk in the gym, and I'd walk him out to his car, and we'd talk. And I said to him one day, he said, I would love for you to do the voiceover for my book. And he looked at me, he goes, why? I go, because your voice is fucking incredible. You're an amazing actor. He goes, I'll do it. He took a booster shot. A week later, they found him dead in the hotel room. Yeah,
Sad.
that was sad, bro.
It's sad. But you know what? You also touched lives. Just like these people touched your lives. I witnessed it
Thank
over
you,
all
man.
these years.
Thank you, man.
You helped inspire so many people.
Yeah.
Just the fact you were kind, respectful. And if anybody would come over in the middle of your workout, you'd always make time to talk to them.
Yeah.
And if they wanted more information, when I'm done,
Yeah.
come talk to me when I'm doing my cardio.
Or we'd let him train with us.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a few pictures of you and I doing triceps on the machine. We stacked it. And then you stood on the weight, and I still did it.
Yeah.
We had fun, man.
Man, let me tell you something. You had the most powerful arms.
And
They're not all show.
No, and
they go.
And here's what I tell young kids. When I was 12, I did dips with 2 chairs and then the tricep push-ups, turning the chairs around. And I really believe that's what created that horseshoe on my tricep. When you're young and you do all that, I was doing that
You're
all the
just
time.
forming the muscle,
And
right?
I kept challenging myself to get more reps. Of course, when I first started, I was lucky enough to get 10. Then I got 20. Then I got 30. One day I went to 40. I couldn't believe it. And I was obsessed with it.
Now, I tell you something. Are you going to come out with a training book too eventually?
I'm
after
going to
the
come
bio?
out. Yeah, I'm going to come out
really
with.
should,
I'm
man.
going to come out with a few things that I was so lucky to learn because we all trained with so many bodybuilders back there in the day. I mean, you name it, they were there. We would jump in with them, and some of the famous football players who were so strong. Lyle.
Yeah.
He was
I remember training with Lyle. Man, was he powerful.
Oh, anytime I trained with him, we had to stack every machine you were using.
Yeah, he was. He
Yeah.
was a rare rare person.
He really was.
You know, if you didn't know him, you figure out, wow. But if you knew him, he would treat you like family.
if he let you in the inner circle of his life, man, he would do anything for you and take care of you. He took me to boxing matches. He took me to Laker games. I mean, I was blessed to develop a good friendship. After we would train, we would go eat, and then we would do the steps in Santa Monica.
Wow. I remember Gregory Hines, who you were very, very dear friends with. And I got to tell you something. He probably was the finest person
I agree with you.
in Gold's Gym.
I agree with you.
Heart of gold. I remember I was at the Brooklyn Academy for the Olympia, and I didn't get any tickets. And I just kind of snuck in there. I wore a warm-up suit. I snuck through the back with the competitors. Wayne DeMille, he goes, how'd you get in here?
Yeah.
I had called Wayne. He said we were sold out. So I'm just kind of, Gregory saw me like bouncing from seat to seat because people say, oh, that's my seat. He goes, Sigma, come over. He had the front row behind the judge table. Wayne DeMille, of course, was right there. He goes, Mikey, where are you sitting? I go, I don't have a ticket. I snuck in. He goes, now you have a seat with me.
I know.
And then, of course, Wayne turned around and he sees me with Gregory. Gregory goes, he's with me.
That's how Gregory was.
Right? I mean, seriously, he extended the friendship that.
Listen,
from
it's
knowing
funny you say that because when I first met him in Gold's Gym, he came up to me. I just won, I believe, Mr. Los Angeles. He came up to me and he goes, Rick Valente, I'm a big fan of yours. And I laughed and I said, oh, really? I said, I'm a bigger fan of yours. He goes, listen, I want you to train me. I go, really? He goes, yeah. And this was in the early 80s, like 83.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, how much? I go, I didn't know. I said, oh, how about $40? He goes, no. I go, oh, and I'm thinking to myself, shit, maybe that was too high. He goes, how about 75? That's the kind of guy he was. And we developed such a great friendship. He took me to every movie he was doing. He took me to New York when he was doing Broadway. I mean,
he put you in that TV series.
He did.
Remember
You're
came
right.
to the studio?
Yes.
He gave you that great
Yes,
role. I mean, how many
yes.
people would do something like that?
I know.
You know, a lot of these actors are selfish. They may say, hey,
I know.
But he was
Yes.
a true friend.
He really was. It broke my heart when he died.
You know what's sad is how his wife passed away a year later, the date he died. It's amazing. And they were madly in love.
I know.
And she was totally like a fitness.
He told me that one day in the gym. He goes, Rick, I could never even think about being with another woman. I go, that's because you're in real love. He goes, you know, I really am.
They were so happy together.
Oh, they
when I saw them
were.
together, my God.
I know. He was an amazing man, and I'm so glad you brought up his name because he was an amazing guy. I just can't say it enough. Talented, tap dancing. He could sing. He brought me when he did that song with that famous singer. There was a concert. He brought me. I got backstage. I mean, the things he did for me. I got friendship with his father. We went to Vegas, all three of us. Went to a fight. And then when he passed away, I went to the funeral. Oh
yeah.
And I was sitting with the father.
Yeah, it was.
And the father said to me, deal with it, because I was crying. And I said, okay, I'll deal with it. And then all of a sudden, this little girl got up, started tap dancing around the box. And then another person got up and tapped. Before you know it, there's 15, 20 people tapping. And it was amazing. It was like he was in heaven saying it's okay.
Yeah.
And it was the most amazing funeral I ever been to.
Wow. All right, man.
That's all right.
You know, I was so taken back when he had passed because he was such a beautiful soul.
Yeah, he was.
And they don't make him like that anymore.
No, you're right.
And Jimmy, too. Jimmy Kahn was great.
Oh,
He was always, I would go somewhere, he'd walk, beeline right across,
I know.
give me a hug.
I know.
You know, always so caring and respectful.
Great actor, great guy.
You know, and just all these wonderful experiences we had in Gold.
This is what I keep trying to talk about, man. Gold's Gym was magic. I mean, it was my home away from home for 43 years. When you walked in, the music, the people, the energy. Every time you walked in, you couldn't wait to work out because the energy was amazing.
Yeah.
Now we walk in, people walk by us.
Yeah, the only I know they won't put Fox News and certain things on the TVs. It's so controlled,
It's controlled.
you know, and nobody in the gym Venice, Gold's Gym Venice, has been for sale,
I know.
but everybody calls it the junkyard now. It's not the magical.
It used to
Mecca.
be the Mecca.
Right.
I've been trying to get Tanya Knight, Gregory Hines, James Caan, Ray Liotta, all these guys' posters on the wall. I've been trying for a couple of years.
And they won't do it, huh?
I don't understand it. James Caan wore Gold's Gym shirts, helped market. He was on Gold's Gym cover. They made a magazine. Back when Derek was, in charge,
Yeah.
they created a Gold's Gym
Yeah,
magazine.
but you know, it's all corporate now.
I know, bro.
You know,
It's a different owner now. I understand.
but it's a foreign entity.
Exactly.
And they don't understand the value of what Gold's
No.
Gym
No.
name meant to
The
people.
Mecca.
And
Whenever there was a Mr. Olympia or a Miss Olympia, they trained there.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
nobody does.
Yeah.
There's hardly any real bodybuilders
Well, it's
there.
a junkyard. You've got equipment that's
Outside
outside,
in the
in the
parking
rain and
lot.
it's rusted.
I know.
And you even have treadmills and ellipticals outside,
I know.
not covered between the air from the ocean and the rain
Yes.
and the night.
You're
and
right, man.
It just rots the equipment.
I know.
And I just said to myself,
wow.
there's no magic here. And that's why I don't train there anymore.
I know. I
Unfortunately,
understand.
I used to love going
I
there.
know.
I would always love seeing you.
Yep.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Let's get
Yeah.
my D, right?
We always
Now-
did that.
Now it's just like people just walking out the door. And then I'll go to the Firehouse or Rose Cafe, and they're sitting there playing with their phone. I'm like,
I
what the
know.
fuck? I mean,
I know.
and I even asked one, hey, you want to get a bite to eat? Oh, no, I got things to do. And he's sitting in the corner of the restaurant. I don't get it. The brotherhood is gone.
Gone.
It's just
It's a different
tough.
generation, and I know we're old school, and we have to accept it. When we were growing up, if you did something wrong, your father would smack the shit out of you. And I know this whole new generation, they can't get spanked. The parents will get arrested, which doesn't make any sense to me. But I think when I see all these young kids, the way they talk to their parents, I'm like, whoa, don't do that. Don't say that. But they do.
but see, that's why I feel discipline is important.
Absolutely.
And my father, listen, he had a heavy hand, but you know what?
Yeah.
I was a little rebel.
I
And
understand.
if he didn't keep me in line, I probably would have done stupid things in my life.
That's right.
So thank God he was the way he was, because that's what made me who I am
That's
today.
right.
But to be told that you could be arrested if you discipline your child, I'm not talking about
I know.
beating your kids.
No,
sensitive,
no.
but disciplining them.
I know.
They're like a dog that's never been housebroken, run around shitting and pissing, chewing up your couch. Then they grow up to be dysfunctional adults. Then you wonder why there's all these shootings in the school.
You and I think so
Right?
fucking much alike. I gotta tell you.
When we were growing up, did you ever hear of a kid going into a school with an AK-47
No.
and a 9mm in his
No.
back
No.
and shoot up because they made fun of him? No, they weren't disciplined.
You know, it's crazy you're talking about this because my father, when I was about 12 years old, when Charles Manson and all those people went into all these people's homes and stabbed them all and killed them all, and then they were sentenced to death, and then California dropped the death penalty. So none of them got put to death. They just got put in prison. And then after so many years, some of them got released. My father flipped the fuck out screaming, how the fuck can you not kill these people who killed all these innocent people in their house having dinner? You came in, stabbed them all. They stabbed that young 25-year-old actress.
Yeah.
She was 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
They cut the baby out, cut her head, took her tits off, stabbed her 75 times. Why the fuck wouldn't you put those people to death? See, I'm such an old-fashioned Italian guy. I truly believe when people commit crimes that are just insane, you need to put them to death right after the court case. Okay? Hang them in public, then a lot of people won't commit more crimes. See, nowadays, nobody gets put to death. And even when you do get sentenced to a death sentence, you're in prison for 30 years.
And we're footing the bill.
And we're flipping the bill.
Yeah.
Just the other day, there was a guy. I only watch sports or car shows or funny shows. I was flicking the channels. This news channel came up. This guy who killed 40 people, 30 women, raped and killed them, killed 40 boys. He got sentenced. He was convicted for doing 40 murders. He's been in prison for 30 years. Now they're saying they want to get him out. Now, does that make any sense?
Well, but look at the two Menendez brothers.
What?
Okay, they
Oh.
blew the mother's head off with the shotgun.
Oh.
They went on a shopping spree. They went to a club after that.
And then spent
Oh,
$100 grand.
They were abused.
Right.
No, but of course Gascon was his last desperate plea to try to get votes. Oh well, there was special circumstances, and the brother of the father was like, they deserve to stay in jail the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
They murdered my brother and his wife.
Shot your mother in the head, and then they said they shot them both in the head and then shot them 7 more times. How do you murder your parents like? And at their age, if they really said their father was abusing them, get out of the house.
Yeah.
They were old enough to drive cars. Get out.
Yeah. No, there's so much controversy that I just feel that we could go on forever to talk about it.
I know.
But I do want to just spend like 2 minutes.
Sure.
I'd like to share like some of the questions. Like people have asked me, hey,
Okay.
Ricky's been posting. He does these 100 reps,
Yes.
sets and stuff.
Yes.
They were asking, is this something you do every workout or only on occasion? How frequent would you do it?
No, I pretty much right now, I'm 66 years old. So for me, it works for me. And then sometimes, like, I'll try to go heavy again. And, when I just do like 6 to 8 to 10 reps, I don't feel anything like I do with 100 reps. I'm trying to make people at least just try it. Start with 25. And when you do high reps, the burn and the pump in whatever muscle, body part you're training is amazing. It blows your mind. And it's also a great release in today's world because you can't think of anything but counting. You got to count to 100. Let me tell you, you don't think of anything on how upside down the world is. You don't think of any news you might have watched. And it's a great release. That's why I love it. I mean, very few people will do it with me, but when someone does, they go, wow, I like this.
Yeah.
And when we train arms and superset, tricep, bicep, and do 50 to 75 reps, 3 sets each, 3-4 different movements, my arms are pumped the whole day. The whole day. It's amazing to me. Now, if I just do heavier weight and just do 8 reps, I just don't feel it. And my joints they don't like it.
Right.
And I understand as we all age, we all respond differently to things. This is what's working for me. I love high reps for the burn and the pump, but I also love the release. It is for me. Arnold used to say years ago, the way he would train, so fucking incredible. He goes, training is like having a fucking orgasm. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. It's true. Now, when you do low reps and then you watch your phone, it's not an orgasm, man. I'm telling you.
Well, it's a whole different sensation. But I do remember when I was about, I think, 17 years old.
Right.
And it was when Gold's Gym was on 2nd Avenue.
Yes.
And Arnold said, I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do legs with Andreas.
Wow.
And he goes, it's going to be a 100-rep day.
Wow.
I figured a lot of sets would accumulate to 100.
No.
So we started off with leg extensions, 5 sets of 100 reps.
I know. I love it.
And then we went to squat.
Oh.
And we did 5 sets, 100 reps each set.
That's amazing, bro.
And then we did hamstrings.
Oh.
We did 5 sets of 100 reps. Wow. My whole body was trembling.
Yes.
I went in the locker room because I felt nauseous.
Yes.
And he said, we'll come back tonight to do calves and abs, right? And I was like, no way. I was there for like 3 hours. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk.
But that's how our workouts back then were so amazing. When you walked out of the gym, you were like, whoa.
Yeah, no, it was next level. And that's what I try to share with people. It wasn't because we walked into goals and it was all these famous people.
Right.
It is the experience you have.
Exactly.
Training in that energy in the room.
Yes.
Where if you usually did 12 reps, you're doing 20.
That's right.
You know,
I know.
you would take it to a whole nother level. You'd be putting on more weight. You'd be training faster.
Yes.
You wouldn't be thinking about anything else but except what you're training, and it was like magical. And so when you take that out of the equation,
Yeah.
it's just like being in a gym with a bunch of weights.
It's different.
And it's gone. That's why when I train now, I have my earbuds in, and I'm listening to, like, I love rock and roll music.
Me too.
And I zone everybody out. I don't care if they think I'm conceited or whatever it is. I have no interest in talking to anybody anyway. It's my time.
That's right.
And I train. And if I'm doing biceps, I think biceps. If I think back, I'm doing back, and I'm visualizing what the back looks like as I'm contracting it and bringing out what we call the Christmas tree, those striations in the back. And I love going to the gym. I remember this just the other day. This woman comes in and she goes to her girlfriend, "Oh, God, it's leg day. I hate doing legs." And I just said, wow.
I love that you explain how you put the mind into the muscle you're training. That's what we all did. When you're training, you think about the muscle you're training, and it gets even better. It's amazing, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, but you know what people don't understand is when you are thinking, say you're doing biceps, and you're doing this barbell curl, you're sending a stronger nerve impulse to contract the muscle.
Exactly
if
right.
you're thinking about how it looks, how full and striated it is. But if you're doing a curl and go, "Oh, I got that meeting at 2 o'clock. I forgot to call."
You're
diverting the nerve impulse.
Exactly.
So it's a lower electrical pulse going to the muscle.
That's right.
So I remember when I would be training, especially the executives, I go, "Stop it right now. Put the weight down. What are you thinking of?" "Well, I have this meeting." "Well, no. We're here training this muscle group. Think of what you want it to look like. Otherwise, go home.
I know.
I can't take your money."
I know.
And I've changed so many people's lives because I snapped them out of it.
You trained a lot of famous people too.
You know, but I was straightforward with them. No bullshit. I wasn't going to hold their towel and their bottle. I remember when I trained Jack Scalia for the Casualties of Love, the Joey Buonafuoco story.
Yes.
He hands me his bottled water and his towel. When I first walked into Gold's Gym, I said, what's this? He goes, "Well, I thought you'd hold it for me." I said, "I don't carry your water. I don't carry your towel. I train you."
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. He said, "Boy, you got balls." He goes, "I'm glad you're training me."
That's right.
He goes, "It was my test." I go, "Yeah, bullshit, your test. You just can't talk to an Italian like that."
That's right.
And I said it straight. Let me tell you something. He put on 30 pounds of muscle for that. He was a very frail guy.
Yeah, no, he looked
runner,
great.
and right? But he got full. He got strong. And he said the trainer before him was having him eat pizza and donuts and bloating him.
Why would they do that?
Because he just wanted to fatten up because he had no idea about nutrition. He was just a trainer that never even maybe got certified, right? So when I had him eat whole eggs. I had him eat, whole grain toast at breakfast. I had him eat fresh fruit, not juice.
Right.
Because all juice is sugar water.
Yes,
Once you
exactly.
blend a vegetable or fruit, it's pure sugar. It's like drinking fucking soda.
That's right.
It's a waste of time. Forget about juicing. That's just bullshit. I remember Jack Lane. I said, "Jack, you told me you should eat raw fruits and vegetables, but you have a blender." He goes, "Hey, I got to make a living."
Yeah.
Because I don't drink that.
I know.
Because those sugar water.
I
You
used to watch
liquefy
him.
it.
I used to watch him all the
Oh,
time.
he was the best.
He was the best. He always had beautiful German shepherds there. Man, I always loved watching him.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something, man. If you ever think about doing a show,
Yeah.
I fully support you doing it. It'd be great for you to do
I
a show
might
'cause
do
your
another
style,
one. I might do another one.
You
I've
should.
been thinking about it. Yeah.
shoot a pilot.
I know.
Put it on one of the streaming platforms.
Yeah.
I bet you it gets picked up.
Yeah.
You just have this way of training people that's magical.
I
listen to you.
still stretch and flex whatever I'm training in between sets.
Yeah,
No one does it anymore.
I know.
I don't understand it. When I'm training arms in between sets, I flex my bicep, flex my tricep. Keep doing this. The pump gets even better.
Yeah, but you know what I see too? They do the workout, then at the end they do this like half-ass bullshit stretch. How about stretching it in between the sets? Get rid of the lactic acid, help stimulate the blood flow.
Yes.
You recuperate faster,
That's
and you have
right.
shorter rest.
That's exactly
right?
right.
But again, they're just watching other people on Instagram and Facebook or whatever doing these bullshit routines, and that's why they don't really make progress like they say they do.
I
They
know.
use these apps, these filters
Yes.
to magnify their definement, give them a six-pack.
I know.
Baby, when we took our clothes off, we
We-
look better
we
with our
ha-
clothes off than on.
I see a lot of trainers now who are overweight. And I never understand, if you're a trainer to tell all these people you know how to get you in great shape, why aren't you in shape? I just don't
Oh, no,
understand.
I was at, I won't say the name,
Right.
but I was at this gym the other day,
Yeah.
and they just had this new recruits of trainers. And the only way I knew they were trainers, because it had on the back, trainer in white letters and black shirt,
Right.
it looked like a bunch of overweight people I thought was like fat camp. I know. And how would anybody want to hire someone that can't practice what they preach? I don't care about what they say about, oh, stereotype, oh, you can't do that. No, you have to look
Yes, I agree.
the part.
I agree.
Who's going to hire you to train them when you have rolls of fat hanging over the sides of your waist? You got man boobs, right?
I know.
And you think they're going to be motivated?
Yeah.
No, the people that I train said, Mike,
You look great.
you inspire me.
Yeah.
If I could look half as good as you, I'll be happy.
I
And the
understand.
fact that like I'm 68
Yeah.
and I look like that, they're like, whoa, I want to look like you when I'm your age or half as good, right?
Right.
So I'm an inspiration to them. So I share people, practice what you preach. It's like going to a hairdresser and they have really shitty hair.
I
Come on,
know.
you're
I
gonna
know.
go?
I know.
You'd be like, look like someone just shaved half their head off, and then you're gonna have your hair done by them,
I
or
know.
the colors like all these weird colors.
It's different nowadays. I get it. Back then, most of the trainers were in great shape.
And now all today we got these problems. And then the bathroom men can walk into a bathroom with ladies because now he feels he's a woman. I mean, it's so distorted today, right?
When
The
I
line's
see
so
when I
fuzzy.
see guys competing against women in a women's contest, whether it's swimming, whatever, I'm like, how can you let a man who now thinks he's a woman compete against women? You're destroying the women who work their whole life to compete, and a guy comes in and wins, and he's the champion.
Well, look at the Olympics with the boxing.
I saw that.
That was
I saw
that
that.
was hideous.
I saw that.
And they proved that this person had a certain amount of testosterone, which is category is considered male, and it was a male, but saying he was a female.
I know.
Come on, I mean it's so messed up. That's why I'm glad I don't have any kids,
I know.
because I wouldn't want to bring them in this world today.
I know, it's a different world. This is why I keep trying to challenge myself every day to be grateful when I wake up and try to do what makes me happy. I can't watch the news. Nothing makes sense in today's world. Everything is so confusing. All the wars going on, killing innocent people. I don't understand it.
No, well, you know what? The purpose of this show, Live Well and Thrive,
Right.
is our conversations like we have today. Is to make people think.
Yes.
We're not telling you have to think like us,
Right.
but maybe we'll trigger something in your brain to maybe reconsider before you do something
I
rude.
talk about that in my book. How I'm trying to make people understand we got to train our mind as much as our body. So whether it's listening to audiobooks or reading books, there's certain ways that make you understand. Your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings create your actions.
Yeah.
That's why so many people are so angry right now, because they watch the news all day. So they go out of the house pissed off. And that's why when you're driving, people are yelling, giving you the finger. They're all so pissed off. Subconsciously, they're angry because they're watching the news all day.
Well, also too, the lockdown with the COVID made a lot of people go pots and fuzzy, crazy, right? So I think the combination of that compounded with the world is all over the place right now. But I'm hoping that with the show that we trigger thoughts that get people to maybe say, hey, maybe I should let that guy or that girl work in with me.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe I should leave my phone at home or in the car or in the locker room, and just maybe it'd be nice to say hello to people.
Yes.
Because you notice, like sometimes, like when I walk into the gym, I see people just staring away.
I know.
Good morning.
I know.
I try that now.
I know.
I step in front of good morning, and they're startled. Like
I did
hey,
that today.
I want to be a human being.
A girl walked by me. I said, hi, good morning. She wouldn't even look at me. She walked right by me. And I just thought, wow. I felt bad for her. She's so unhappy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, like your book will come out. They'll learn your journey. They'll watch this show.
Yeah.
And maybe make them think that maybe I should put myself in check.
Yes.
And maybe I should try to smile.
Yes.
Or be courteous.
Yes.
Or let someone come and get in front of me and not kind of tailgate them because you're getting ahead of them.
I
Nobody's
want-
getting ahead of anybody.
No, I want them to understand when you do talk to somebody, your energy is so important. So when you do talk to somebody, whatever you're saying and how you say it, when you walk away, they're either walking away going, fuck them, or they're smiling going, I really like that person. So you have to understand your energy is so important. The way you
Yeah.
behave when you see people, what you say, be positive, be happy. I mean, we're all blessed to be alive right now.
I'd say in the gym where I'm training now, I must help at least 6 or 7 people a month getting stuck with a barbell, either incline
I did that today.
or flat bench. There was
Yep.
this young man, he was on the incline, and he was struggling. I ran over to the bench, and he didn't have collars, and the bar started getting funky. I pulled it up right away and put it on the rack.
Yeah.
And I said, are you okay? First thing I asked him, he said, yeah. I said, please, use collars, and do not be afraid to call me over
That's right.
or someone else to
To
spot
spot
you because you're in a vulnerable position. You could choke yourself with the windpipe, crush it, you're gone.
We've seen a lot of things
And then
happen.
2 days later, and I saw trainers watching. I went up to the trainer, and I said, did you see what happened? He goes, yeah. He goes, but that asshole, I offered him some, package of training sessions, but he said he didn't need any. So I said, but the kid almost got hurt. He goes, I would have gotten over there. He would have been fine. No, he wouldn't have been fine because he could have tore his pec
That's
or
right.
her delt or
Broke his neck.
broke his neck, right? And it was because they didn't buy a package.
I know.
And then I'm saying to myself, and then 2 days later, there was a kid that was bench pressing, and then he couldn't. I saw the bar over here, so I thought at first he was doing like the hip thrust with the bar because he was
Yeah.
wiggling to get down.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, shit, are you okay? He goes, no. And I pull up the barbell off of him. He goes, oh fuck, I thought I was fucked. Again, trainers were watching. And because they didn't take a package of their workout sessions, they want to punish these people. When we would go into a gym, if God forbid we ever see anybody hurting themselves,
You run
we're
over.
going to run over.
Of course.
But that's why I'm saying today that something's not right.
I know.
And that's why this show is important.
I agree.
Make people think.
I agree.
Watch
agree.
people. If you think that they look shaky, go over
Help
there.
them.
Or at least watch them, because if they're in an uncomfortable situation where they can't protect themselves,
That's right.
as another human being, you should think out the safety for other people.
I agree.
Forget
with
about the Instagram and the posting.
you. I
In
agree.
the gym, right?
I agree.
And I hope this resonates to people because the show is dedicated to helping people. You're dedicated to helping people.
Yes.
We're both dedicated to helping people.
You know what? Something else. I just read this whole thing the other day, and it was so right. We all have to check ourselves because we're all getting obsessed with our phones because of Instagram. It's a new way of world. I understand it works that way. But we're all of us are looking down like this. And when you do this, you're fucking your neck up. Okay? So if you have to sit and look at your phone, try to hold it up a little higher. Don't keep looking your neck down. In this article, they were saying some people do it for 8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Really?
Well, but also, I read in it was American Medical Journal that when you tilt your head down,
Yes.
you slow down the blood flow to your brain
Exactly.
by 40%. So what does that do with someone's productivity? What does that do with kids increasing their academic ability? It slows down the blood flow to the brain. Now, there was many studies over the years that proved that if you exercise for 45 minutes or more,
Right.
you have increased blood flow throughout the whole body to the brain.
Exactly.
And that if you exercise for 45 minutes, for 3 hours, you improve your brain capacity by 50%.
Yes.
Just 45 minutes.
That's why I do 30 to 40 minutes on the treadmill after my workout every day.
Right? But also, too, they realize that when they stop PE in certain schools across the United States in elementary school, that their academic level, their grades went down 38% because they weren't stimulating the blood flow.
It.
Right?
You just proved
This is
it.
all facts, and that's why I
know.
want these facts to be out there. It's proven studies. 45 minutes of exercises will increase your blood flow in your brain and throughout your whole body. So your blood flow is increased 50%
I
just
know.
from 45 minutes, which is typical PE class.
I know. I
That's
agree.
why I reached out to Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
and I asked him to be part of the President's Council for Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition because I want this to be important that
Good.
PE programs are offered earlier in the day in schools, and we have to really upgrade the PE program.
Yes.
The President's Council program
Yes.
is so outdated,
I know.
right?
I know.
And you know what? If that works out, I want you to come with me.
I'll
brother.
come.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
We can help kids throughout the United States.
Yes.
We can. Did you know the average lunch meal in schools is $1.10? You're saying our country does not have more money to pay for better quality food. What are
I
you
know.
getting for $1.10?
Probably just
What's that burger?
all sugar.
What's
and-
that chicken?
Exactly.
It's compressed meat.
Exactly.
It's right. So that's what I'm saying. That I want to make a difference. I know you want to make a difference.
That's
so,
why they're overweight.
Yeah. So maybe, hopefully, like I said, if something happens with the, Bobby Kennedy and some of the others, I've already submitted my
Yeah.
candidacy
Okay.
for a position there.
Cool.
I'm bringing you in, brother.
I'll come.
You know?
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh,
today.
come on, man. You kidding? My
Uh,
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And when your book is out, I want you to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Read some of the chapters.
I mentioned your name in my book.
You didn't talk about the crazy stuff. did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't get too crazy, but
That's good.
us training. I think there's a picture when one time we had a girl sitting above us. We had our basically on our shoulders.
Oh yeah.
It was fun.
Oh yeah. That was a fun.
And
time
then
to
we
be.
did Gold's Gym marketing. We all
Yeah.
helped. We
All the
did,
catalogs. For the
yes.
clothes. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, that was fun, brother. But thank you so much.
thank you, bro.
This is Mike Torchia. Thank you for watching. Live well and thrive. And if you have people out there that you truly care about, share this episode because I guarantee it'll change your life forever. And remember, subscribe. We need your support. Thank you.
Amen.